Hello, Lockhack. Loki here. I'm here to go over with my pell drill that I like to do for my training without partners. So, um, one of the things as a glaive fighter that I find is being able to fight and train while moving and throwing shots and transitioning through different ranges is really important for me because my opponent is generally either closing for me or I need to be working on breaking away from my opponent as they're in combat. Usually they want to get to here and I want to try to get to a position where I can step out of their range and throw a cut, or I'll be in a position where instead of them coming to me, I'm going to move to them, just to simulate the example that you throw a thrust and then you have another attack in order to do. And for the changing of ranges, I feel like the movement around your pell is really critical. And now, in a combination with that type of thought process and mentality, the drill that a lot of people do for sword and shield fighters is the typical here, here, going all through all six. Whereas once you have to go and strike onside, you kind of have to recover the weapon a bit further than the average fighter would with a sword and shield would be, unless you went from here and then struck again, changing hands, which is a bit time-consuming in a different process. So the drill, the way I work with is I start out at my maximum range, transition to a mid range, to then fighting up in close range. So usually an opening shot, high, and always stepping along with your cuts and using all the different striking edges you have in order to make that transition through those ranges feel more natural, so you can throw any shot from just about any position. But it's important to be always stepping through and being practice at throwing those cuts and thrusts, so you transition out, back in again, and then using butt spike, thrusts, and cuts to step in and out. This works great in conjunction where you're in your mid-range and you can either, if they're closing or you want to close, throwing your butt spike, or when they make an attack and you shift the block, you can block it and then throw a cut immediately after, kind of counterpunching. The other transition is when you throw your thrust and you miss your target, you've now practiced throwing the leg shot or throwing a headshot, as well as if you throw a thrust and they're seeing you always transition around the shield side if it's a sword and shield fighter as a glaive fighter, instead of throwing the thrust and then trying to roll out that way because it's further away from their weapon. If they're anticipating it too much, you can throw your thrust and then step out and cut to the leg. Stepping in and follow that up with the thrust, cut, back out again. So that practicing, I don't do particular combos for them. I just, whichever one feels most natural with the weapon as I'm transitioning both in and then back out again. So I hope that helps. I'll probably try to throw another couple of videos with different examples of the way I fight with glaive. But till then, wash your hands.